and I think he's definitely a lookout pick. HGC has almost no games played at the midseason brawl. At Eastern Clash, completely fell off as a tank.
You're already there.
I'm already there.
Midseason brawl.
But he basically almost no games played. Super not meta right now in Korea, but I hope that we get to see, because of that, some ETC games sneak through here for GLuck, because other teams are prioritizing other tanks, which gives him opportunity to play this ETC he's so good at.
Yeah, that's right. He was even snipe banned sometimes, even as a first ban when they wanted to throw away a ban and actually have that as a snipe ban against his ETC. It came out sometimes. Seron has been roaming quite dangerously at the beginning of part number 1, and then they have changed their rotation. They actually take safer routes. Of course, it's slower. Seems like they have to make better choices when they have to actually move around in macro ways, but still, they're catching up very good, and they're actually one series away from Blossom, 4th place.
Yeah. It's going to be Braxis and Tomb of the Spider Queen band. Tomb of the Tongue Twister here for me today, apparently.
And game number 1, GLuck's pick. We're going to Battlefield of Eternity. It's a good map for both of them, actually, starting off with less of a macro-centric map, and they can actually focus on the team fights. We saw lots of Futerials coming out, even lots of Tracers from these teams. Of course, not really.
You think the players are in voice chat?
That's a good question.
I doubt. They're probably using a different program, I guess, because it's only recently been released. They're probably not used to using it for competitive games. But we look at phase number 1, or part number 1, I guess, which this is all going to be for phase 1 stats as we go through the second part, but these stats are all, of course, for part 1. Genji has been obviously the most banned hero at 59%. That's over half of the games played in this tournament means he was banned.
Well, it used to be closer to 90%, so...
Yeah.
Right now, after that, basically Maiev was not even available back then. Well, now she's just removed. She has to be banned. There's no way. Basically, all the pros are saying there's no way you just let her through.
Yeah, there's way too many compositions that synergize with her.
Yes.
With her Warden's Cage, and Warden's Cage obviously has been nerfed on the current patch, the live patch, but it's not going to be the patch we're playing on probably for a few more weeks. Maybe until like Phoenix's release, very likely. So she empowers a lot of heroes, a lot of combinations. We're gonna have the Malfurion first pick. We saw a few times in Eastern Clash. It's a very safe pick, and it does make GLuck now think about the Tracer. The Tracer, if they leave available, Ace can grab it, and if they decide to go down the Genji path, they can Uther Genji here. I think that's their strongest bet, but they're going to have to do so knowing that it means that Tracer is available. Neither of these comps are fantastic for the map. By the way, I was going to say, I was like, something feels different. The map is now up in English for you guys as well, down below the team names.
That's right.
So, something we've been asking them for a while for you guys.
Now the chat doesn't have to ask all the time,
Yeah.
which map is it? You'll know if you just take a close look at the screen. It's right there below the number. Below the clock numbers clicking down. Actually, Genji Uther pair up. GLuck is not really picking Genji too much. They have actually gave away Genji in part number 1 oftentimes, picking Hanzo over. Of course, we are in a different meta. They were nerfed after a little bit too, but still, picking Genji seems like they want to bring something else into part number 2.
Yeah, with the map here being Battlefield of Eternity, grabbing Genji basically means you're looking to dive and be aggressive in the immortal phases. With Ace now, I think the Tracer pick is super tempting. But at the same time, you're fighting into a Genji with Tracer. It's not the best matchup there. Deflect can totally shut down your pulse bombs if that's the target you're looking for. Uther's very tanky. Blaze is going to be the best soul laner for this particular situation. They're going to grab Garrosh and keep it safe here. Not going to the Tracer just yet. If they want to, they can, of course, later if GLuck doesn't ban it.
And also Ace knows that ETC, Milky Way's ETC is super powerful, so picking Garrosh as a soft counter before the ban phase happened. I think that's a very smart way of drafting, picking supports and two solid tanks, so you can just pick up the DPS later on.
Yeah, this is the trade-off of grabbing Garrosh early instead of the Tracer. Is if you were considering on the Tracer, that option is now removed, and what they'll run instead is yet to be revealed. We could see, depending on the tank that's shown here now for GLuck, perhaps just Tychus Li Ming, something very safe, very poke-oriented against this dive comp that GLuck has shown. Hanzo removed now. Great choice of ban because it's going to remove the best source of sustained damage that's currently available at the moment for GLuck's composition.
Also pairs up pretty well with Genji, and you can basically win the race with Hanzo alone onto the other side. Even Greymane sometimes cannot contest against Hanzo's W if they go towards that scatter arrow build with the simple geometry. So I think that's what they were scared of a little bit. Now they have to choose either some range, other range, maybe Vala, Q Vala, that's possible. But we've never really seen Valas coming out from GLuck. Maybe they're just choosing Taika's over.
Hey, you know, in the I think it's in the Phoenix patch, she gets like a little bit of a buff on her little scatter arrow, you know?
Yeah, the damage.
Yeah.
Slight.
Hey, there's that ETC.
Still.
They pick it into the garage with a mouth ale. This is a fantastic comp so far for GLuck in terms of strong heroes for, I guess, comfort picks is what I'm trying to say, with the exception of the Genji. So, kind of a terrifying thing for Ace now to have to play against. And they have to now choose their DPSs. I feel like with ETC here, you're not as worried about the Li Ming pick versus Genji because she has so much value versus ETC. I would love to just see Li Ming Tychus here. Old school, you have good protection for them. You can look to poke, play defensively, win the race that way.
Solid pick. It's going to be with not much of as small as Tracer or Li Ming. Tychus can actually survive for a long time. Kind of hard for Genji to get a kill onto Garrosh at the same time because of their armor. Sometimes you miss that lethal when you try to slash in. You think you have enough damage, but you do not oftentimes.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Alright, time's ticking down here. Thrall will be making an appearance here with Greymane on his new Enforcer skin. I think that's what it's called.
Thrall, of course, before the nerf. Coming in.
That's right. That's going to be coming in, I think, after Phoenix's patch. So GLuck now, their last pick is going to be, you know, a sustained damage dealer. Question is, which one?
This was what we were talking about, and they actually really liked those melee comps along with Greymane. That was their favorite. So GLuck's not even going to contest. Make sure they're away from your team, and they're going to pick Junkrat. Just poke from the side and make sure you have that mine to keep your teammates alive. I think that's exactly what GLuck's looking for here. Yeah,
the mine is going to be really useful to grab pickups. It has some anti-synergy with ETC sometimes just because of how his power slide works and his face melt, but there's going to be a lot of sustained damage on both sides here. Part of that will be from Thrall and Greymane on the side of Ace, and you don't think of Thrall as a poke hero, but with Crash Lightning now, he absolutely is. And on the other side, Junkrat's going to be just tossing out grenades. But in terms of dealing with that poke damage on both sides, advantage Ace because they have Valkyrian. And that is going to out-heal what Uther can do. But Uther will be able to empower Dragon Blades, so that's the burst advantage that GLuck has. You know, that's how they're going to be engaging in these team fights post-10. But they have ETC, they have Junkrat in the early game, so they're not going to struggle as much as other Genji comps would at putting on some early game pressure.
Yep, I think Ace, they really have to start off with some great throws coming out from Garrosh, pairing up with the jet propulsion from Blaze. I think they have enough CC and burst damage from all the melee. I think that's more than enough damage to get one kill for sure. Get that burst damage from Greymane and Thrall at the same time. Anyone from the other side, even ETC, will not be safe.
Yeah, let's see how this level 1 fight is going to go. Looks like GLuck is going to actually play passively, knowing that even though they have ETC on their side, Garrosh, Malfurion, and Blaze, you're really playing with fire. Okay, we've seen this strategy from Relic specifically, but he messed it up actually this time. So what you want to do with this, normally he goes for the middle healing well, but this time he went aggressively for the top one. You want to just poke it down with Genji because he has mobility and get out. You can do it, it'll take you like 3 times to do it. You can't do it all in once, unless they're just AFK, you know, doing another invade or something. But he actually accidentally aggroed the fort, so that did not go the way he planned, only damaging the shields.
He's still trying it again.
Yeah, he can get it eventually. But it's going to take more trips than this one. Like, he definitely can't do it this time.
It's going to take a long time, and they're guessing that the bottom lane, they can't really get a kill. It's going to be really tough, even with the Genji.
He actually may die. I think he definitely will. It's very low here. No way out. Saron helping to peel, and actually, you know what? Rush doesn't have a cocktail. He's going to get out. Very aggressive. But you know what's cool about this lane swap? Is it's taking away stacks from Thrall. He only can hit 2 heroes with his Q now with this lane swap, and now they're going to come for an invade down here with the ETC because they've scouted out this camp being taken. I really like how Gluck is rotating. Rush is coming down too, though.
Ooh, Witcher's about to get caught. Here comes the power slide and the face melt. That's more than enough damage. First kill.
Just too greedy. But they will get the grab, though, onto Milky Way, but Uther's got so much burst healing here. Didn't even have to use his Radiance there. And Milky Way just walks out scot-free. Saron going to go ahead and grab this camp, too, and Hero's just going to try to take this opportunity to push the lane as a result, knowing that contesting that versus a Malthael is unreasonable. This could be the moment where Relic finishes off the healing well if he wants to really commit to this.
But do you really want to go in? I think it's. I think you have to switch gear and really have to push in a little bit. He's not even going to. He's making that rotation down. Ooh, Ace is going for this camp, and Genji, even Martel's coming down all the way.
Yeah, big commitment down. I like how they use this camp. They don't just simply try to do damage to the cannon towers. They actually try to steal this camp by aggressively rotating down, leaving Blaze in the lane. Sure, he's going to grab some extra XP from the wave, but he kind of is stuck up there. So here comes the first Immortal phase. Remember, it's going to be dive on the side of Gluck with a little bit of poke from the Junkrat, kind of the opposite of Ace with their kind of poke from Greymane, who's going to that auto attack build with Thrall's poke. Big invade.
Thrall's missing from this fight right now. Relic goes in for the aggro. Gets that root away. There's a big CC coming out from Blaze, and Genji's toss.
Relic's dead. Just overextended there, getting caught by that toss, as you say. And now this is going to be a great opportunity for Ace to just crush this halftime. Or this pre-halftime. I don't know what to call it. People call it halftime, so I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. Halftime's like the break between halves in a football game, but people call them halftimes. I don't know what to call it. But this first phase of the Immortal phase, if you will, you should be able to win it. But as fast as I try to explain it, Relic's already coming back. Ace actually played defensively here, didn't capitalize on their advantage.
Sometimes, even in your hero league, when you try to go for an invade, you think you have the advantage. You think you have all the tools to actually take it away, and you end up losing oftentimes because you have to make that much more effort. You have to lose your lane sometimes, and you end up losing, and it becomes a great chance for the other team. So why risk it when you can actually keep your lead? I think GLuck made that mistake in the beginning now.
Yeah, just wasn't very well coordinated. I like this, using the circle here on the Immortal to actually chain some CCs together. Milky Way is going to get out. Good capitalization here on the invade by Ace, actually getting that double stun. Now they've got the toss onto Sarah, and he's making this a pretty good trade, though. Heals himself up. Hero is on the chase. It's a pretty pokey fight here. Saren finally going to get taken out with this stun. Rush gets tailed by Radiance counterwise here, and it's going to be a 1-for-1. Oh! Nice root there. Is it enough? Deflect is good. Is he actually getting out of there? No way, right?
I think he should have the Swift Strike back, and he does. He does get out safely, and meanwhile, Garrosh dies here.
Oh my god, he lived.
Genji's pretty
he's
strong.
He's pretty hype about it too. He's like, oh yeah! He's doing an instant, yeah, I got there, like, he tried to catch me! He was on cooldown! He's like, come at me!
That's a pro Genji, guys. And that was pretty awesome, the path he took, actually, and using that deflect right when the chain lightning hit Genji at the same time.
Yeah, that was actually pretty
nicely
well placed.
timed.
Yeah, that was well done.
I think he was going to die if he didn't use that deflect at the right timing.
I mean, you and I have been talking about it since day one, but Relic has had some of the most fantastic Genji we've seen from the lower teams by far. Body blocks coming down here onto Gamey. He's not getting out of this one with his life. Good cleanse here, too, to help the retreat. And despite being down 2k shields on this Immortal at the moment, Milky Way is keeping everyone zoned out so that they can actually trade this. Junkrat's on top of the Immortal. They want to win this, though. They're going to dive in.
They're putting some damage. They're putting some damage, but it's not going to be enough. Greymane dies, and still Immortal having 2k almost. And with losing Greymane, I don't think they have enough damage. Even Hero's getting lost everywhere, providing that slow, but that's not going to be enough. Yeah,
it just was pretty uncoordinated, the defense here on the side of Hero. They wanted to, or on the side of Ace, they wanted to commit into winning the Immortal race, then ended up losing the fight, not able to even trade kills. I don't think this is even going to work. It's not. Okay, I guess it just barely did. 1,000 hit points here. No, okay, no, that was the red one. Sorry, it's been a while since I cast this map.
Yep. And Ace basically lost all the damage. They lost Thrall and Greymane. They could take the immortal, but it was gonna take a long time anyhow. So GLuck just ended up finishing that immortal. So they got the first one here. They're gonna start their push as Martel is also pushing the top lane.
Yeah, so a lot of extra soak. Overlord here gets caught.
This
is
the mine. He wanted to go pass over the wall back to his teammates, but that was not even close.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. That means this immortal is going to do much less than it could have otherwise, but still, with the Malthael push top, I mean, it's going to be level 10 in just a second here. He's going to get one cannon tower. Might actually get both. Once that one goes down, there's not going to be as much to mitigate the damage from those minions. This could be a kill. Oh, he had power slide. Almost like saying everything wrong in this last like 2 minutes. I'm like, no, they want it all the way the wrong way.
That's basically what you do as an ETC. You wait for the timing. You know that route is coming in, so you don't use the power slide to have that on cooldown. You want to wait for the perfect timing and then safely make an exit.
Well, when you said that's basically what you do, I thought you were like just throwing some mad shade at me. Like,
no.
I was like, I've been saying everything wrong.
That's basically what you do. I feel like you did everything wrong, Wolf.
I was like, damn, GLuck, like, don't be so cold. All right, level 10's up. They got the top wall down. They have that push coming in with the top impalers. They're gonna dive this. Well, I don't think they should, even though they have 10. This is just.
I think they had a second. Oh, hold on a second. Because Blaze is on top. I think they were looking for that angle to dive in. May have been a little bit more too aggressive, even without the Blaze available. And
last rights, by the way, also
has been
really strong against Garrosh.
Has been the meta since the Eastern Clash, and also a few of the games in Western Clash, I believe. Yeah, they changed it so that it's much easier to get the quest triggered because you have like an extra second basically before and after. Well, I mean after, not before. That wouldn't make any sense. It's the last rights after all, isn't it? Not the second to last rights, Wolf. But yeah, so. It can burst Garrosh down because he has a large health pool and it will just break through before his armor gets activated, basically. Suddenly it got really quiet in here. These immortals are just trying to hurt each other, but they're failing at it. These immortals are supposed to be like really powerful and immortal and undamageable, but really all they do is take damage. They don't do any damage. They don't hurt anybody until they're defeated. It's kind of weird how that happens. Could be a different map if they actually start hurting each other. There's the Dragon Blade. Actually, super early though, trying to chase down the target.
No kills. Gets rooted too. Riptire also not the greatest, but Witcher barely survives here. Now Relic's got a long way to go before he gets out.
Problem is that they don't get a kill. ETC's going in, but lacking damage for a second.
Okay. Root here to grab him in the power slide. The mosh pit didn't do anything, and this ends up finally being a pick. Great play by Milky Way on this ETC again. His power slide we saw earlier, his face melt just then. Now going to grab this power slide. Cleanse just not going to be enough. Coming out from his level 7, the Malfurion talent.
It almost seemed like GLuck just wanted to push all that out. It was really messy. Relic basically wanted to fight when 9 other players did not want to fight. He was the only one slashing, dashing, doing any damage to anyone. It was a really messy one. I don't think I've ever seen a Dragon Blade to start off that team fight in Korea like that. Yeah,
it was basically them just saying like, it was like an Overwatch Dragon Blade where you start the fight when Nana boosts you and you go in. But in Heroes of the Storm, Dragon Blade does not one-shot heroes. It will kill heavily damaged ones. I like the approach of grabbing Earthquake here for Thrall because it's not gonna. Sundering isn't gonna do as much for you against GLuck's composition, but Earthquake can really disrupt the flow of how much ETC can do and how difficult it is for Junkrat to position correctly.
Nice cleanse onto Junkrat so he can basically get away. Blade could not really do much. Relic trying to do the damage. I'm guessing they want to do maximum damage with the Riptire Plus so that they can get the kill with the last strike coming out from the Seron.
Okay, Hero is super low. And he's going to get blown up here.
Still have Dragon Blade. There we go. Relic going down with Taunted.
Divine Shield.
Nice Divine Shield coming out from Blue Beetle. Basically no silence onto Genji.
Well, Gamey holding his own here, though, with that armor. Last rights. Look at how much that does. Insane damage. Not actually sure if that activated the quest or not, because it was like about a second and a half after he died, but
I think Relic came in at nice time right after, so
yeah, might
they win
have.
the team fight and then they get their immortal too. The second one again, they're gonna get 4+ more on this one and level lead 2. Right now almost 2, but it may be more after the immortal goes.
I feel like GLuck is really understanding this meta really well. I mean, everything they did from the level 1 lane swap to make sure that the Q talent, or the Thrall Q talent, the level 1 talent, didn't actually get stacks very quickly. It's been really just kind of a treat to watch the rotations as well, controlling the top lane with Malthael, controlling the camps non-stop, having the better team fights. The Dragon Blades we're seeing from Relic have been interesting to say the least, but they've made it happen, man. They've capitalized on the burst damage coming through first, then the last rights coming after, as you said. That was a beautiful split by Ace against that E coming through.
So Relic's actually going in. If you go in that early as a Genji, you actually get trapped with lots of CC available from the other side. But Relic's so confident enough that he's going to survive, and he does actually survive. That's the amazing thing here.
Yeah, I mean, they have great CC too with the root, and the stuns coming through from the charge on Blaze, as well as the Spirit Wolf from Thrall. There's like a lot of things that can grab him and root him and stun him if he gets caught, but look at this execution. Forcing the cleanse early onto Rush. Mosh Pit coming in. Cleanse not available anymore. Malfurion's caught anyways. Oh man, Divine Shield to make sure this blade gets maximum value. Riptire doing the damage. Last right's not up for 50 more seconds, but I don't know if they'll need it to win this fight.
Nice
Even
toss.
fighting under core.
Nice toss. GTC was cleansed, so tosses Marthael, but no damage left, and this mortal is going straight to core, and all 5 members still going to connect some more CC, and maybe they want some more kills here.
Gaming gonna be the last one to die here. Looks like they're just gonna ignore a hero. Saddest bunker ever, just 1 second too late. Relic's doing extra damage to the core with his deflect. Will they get the kill onto Blaze? No. Relic goes down, Blue Beetle goes down.
Oh!
Will they hold this? Overlord just got all of his charges back. I think they get this core.
Should be very, very close as Rush just comes it back in 10%, dropping down to the bunker, trying to do the damage 2%, and the Seron's going to finish the last bit of damage onto the core. That's game 1. Going to GLuck.
Yeah, the favorites in this series had some really cool plays. They certainly were not slacking during the off-season between Part 1 and Part 2 here. As you can see, Saron's having a good time. You can see there's definitely some discussion about, well, maybe we shouldn't have core called that early. That was somewhat of a risk, but they still were able to make it happen. I'm sure everyone's had this discussion in Hero League games or Team League games with friends where everyone's arguing about the core call, and then the guy who made the core call after you barely win it like that, it's just like, no, I told you. We can get the core.
I told you.
And the guy's like, we almost lost. It's like, no, I told you we get the core. There's probably some discussion like that going on
Calculated.
right now. Calculated.
Yes. That's exactly what, that's the word that you need in the chat at the moment. And sometimes you actually fail. You leave like 2%, 3%, and then...
Didn't account for spillage.
And then you say something else. I told you to focus on the core. Do not hit the minions. Do not hit the heroes. 1 more damage to the core. Could I finish the game?
You know, I think it wasn't even Saron who got the last kill on the core. It was the Junkrat passive explosion.
Oh,
the
that
death
too.
explosion. Got it there at the end. Did some extra damage. There were definitely some sloppy moments for GLuck, and I think that the Dragon Blade usage, even though with this composition it worked out for them, because they had the Uther Divine Shield, so they could basically stop any... Whenever he got